Yo. Analytics off the chain, all the channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. I'm a headliner.
Yo, Headliner Nation, it's week 12, baby. Thanksgiving week, turkey, stuffing, gravy. Oh, football on Thursdays. Okay, well, sorry about that. Woo. Whew. It's only one of my favorite weeks of the year, so of course I would be super excited about it. But that means we're working way ahead of time right now because we need to get all, and I mean all of our videos out before Thursday football kicks off in the afternoon. So we're working double time this week to get everything out to you. The rankings episodes this week, a lot of information has changed from when we dropped start and sits to now the rankings. So make sure that you're tuned in, you're paying attention, and you know what is going on here in the rankings videos. Now, a little bit of a programming update, okay? There'll be no Tailgate Chef this week. And then you'll be missing a couple of videos. So there'll be no injury show this week. So all of your injury information, we're going to be updating on the community tab here, and we're going to be updating over on Twitter. Unfortunately, again, because we're in such a time crunch this week, we're not able to get a couple of those extra videos done. So those will be missing this week. The Saturday live show still going to be happening on at that same exact time. So make sure you're tuned in Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then again, we'll update any more injuries then at that point as well. But ladies and gentlemen, we got to hop into it. We got to get rolling straight into all the action. We're going to kick everything off in this video with my top 50 wide receivers. Roll it, Taylor. Let's hop in right now. Cooper Kupp going at number 1 and Davante Adams at number 2. This is going to be one heck of a game between these two. Obviously, battling it out, two of the top wide receivers in the league. Deebo Samuel at number 3 going up against Minnesota. A Minnesota team that just got absolutely destroyed. Absolutely destroyed by Davante Adams and Marquez Valdes-Scantling last week. And Deebo Samuel is in just a tier by himself, it feels like right now. Justin Jefferson, coming off one of the best games of his career, now gets to go up against San Francisco. Stephon Diggs up against New Orleans is probably going to see Marshawn Lattimore covering him. The one thing that I've said about Lattimore all season is, yes, he can make life a living for wide receivers, but in the same sense, he gives up a lot of plays. His average yards per reception is like 21.5 right now, so he gives up a lot of big plays still. Jamar Chase at number 6 going up against Pittsburgh. Big play Chase is probably going to come down with one this week. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans right here, back-to-back. Antonio Brown still not practicing. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans liking them this week going up against Indianapolis. DK Metcalf at number 9 against Washington, a team that allows the second most fantasy points per game to opposing wide receivers. Hopefully Russell's finally going to start getting into that groove again. We really need him hopefully working with that finger. I know that finger is probably throwing a few things off for him right now, but this is such a good matchup. It's hard not to put DK Metcalf this high. Keenan Allen at number 10. Even if the ceiling is a little bit lower for him this week, he's getting so much volume right now that even without some of those big plays, he has the potential to put up a ton of yards based on the volume alone. Terry McLaurin at number 11, coming off a good game last week, going up against a Seattle team that has given up some big plays to wide receivers this season. Deontay Johnson at number 12. The one thing that we know about Deontay Johnson is that he's going to get those routes again, kind of like Keenan Allen a second ago. Even if some of those big plays are limited for him, he has so much potential with volume. You kind of have to go this high with him. I do think he's not going to see Awuzie this week, which is really, really good for him. I think Awuzie is going to be on Claypool, which is going to allow Deontay Johnson a little bit of a better opportunity. Number 13, CeeDee Lamb. Now, no official word on CeeDee Lamb as of yet. On Monday, when I recorded my start and sit videos, they were basically saying he was doubtful to play. And then Tuesday morning, after my start and sit videos came out, all of a sudden the Cowboys are like, no, he's progressing in the right direction. Now, everything I looked at earlier says that he's still progressing, but he's not really doing anything as of yet. So he could still clear and play by Thursday. And my ranking of number 13 overall has the indication of, hey, this is where he will rank if he plays. This is where I will put him. Okay? So if he plays, this is where he goes. Obviously, if he doesn't play, you pull him out. Number 14, Tyler Lockett. Like I mentioned with DK Metcalf, yes, little bit of validity here because of Russell Wilson's finger. So that makes things a little bit on the sketchy side in terms of, hey, what are we going to get? But really good week for Tyler Lockett last week, and this is a really great matchup. DJ Moore at number 15 going up against a Miami team that gives up a ton of points to opposing wide receivers. He's feeling good with Cam Newton. They were on the same page last week. Hopefully that continues to build. At number 16, Marquise Brown. Sounds like he is going to end up playing this week. We're keeping an eye on it after he was out last week due to his illness. Sounds like he's going to be back in the lineup. It was not COVID related, which was good to hear. At number 17, Michael Pittman going up against Tampa Bay. The opportunity for big plays here lies, and of course, he's the wide receiver 1 in that offense. Adam Thielen at number 18 going up against San Francisco. Kind of the thing that we're seeing with Thielen right now, if we can get him around 70 to 80 yards and a touchdown, that's really, really good for him. That's kind of where he's lied this year, and there's nothing wrong with that as your wide receiver 2. A.J. Brown at number 19 going up against New England. He's a little bit banged up. Obviously, the entire offense is banged up right now. Bill Belichick does a really good job of, keeping an eye on wide receivers. So I still have A.J. Brown as a start. However, I've got him lower in my rankings because I think his upside is a lot lower. So if I had to make a guess on fantasy points where he may end up lying at, I would say anywhere between 10 and 15 is kind of my guess right now. At number 20, Michael Gallup. Now, I've got Michael Gallup ranked as if CeeDee Lamb would be out. So if we're talking about a ceiling for a player, I wanted to make sure that I put him where I thought his ceiling would be. My concern about Michael Gallup is that Las Vegas has a great, maybe not great pass rush, but they create a lot of pressure. And Michael Gallup, traditionally, his role in this offense since he's come into the league has been more of that deep threat. He's not going to have as much time to really break loose and go. So even though I have Michael Gallup as a start this week, Michael Gallup is a start regardless of what happens with CeeDee Lamb. If CeeDee Lamb plays, Michael Gallup is still going to be a start. If CeeDee Lamb is out, Michael Gallup is still going to be a start. So when you talk about ceiling, this is kind of a ceiling without CeeDee Lamb. If CeeDee Lamb were to play, I'd probably drop him a few more spots down, put him more in that mid-20 range. But with Michael Gallup, the thing is he going to have enough time to really break open those big plays? Okay. Yes, there might be a couple of them, a blown coverage. They get the right route. They get a good matchup. Those are the kind of things I'm looking for in this matchup for him. And then a lot of volume going to Dalton Schultz. And I think we see a lot of Tony Pollard, Zeke Elliott in the passing game this week as well. Darnell Mooney at number 21. Sounds like Allen Robinson is going to be a no-go again this week. Darnell Mooney, tons of targets last week. It is the Detroit Lions, but it is the Chicago Bears, and it is Darnell Mooney and a lot of inconsistencies. As far as where do I think his absolute ceiling lies, I think he could be a top 15 wide receiver this week. As far as kind of just being careful with it, not wanting to get too overly excited, I am keeping him right about here right now just because, again, the Chicago Bears just feel like they find a way to mess up their offense every single week. T. Higgins at number 22, that number 2 in that offense, going up against Pittsburgh. A lot of opportunities probably coming in that game for him. Brandon Ayuk is getting on a roll again. I've got him at number 23. Brandon Cooks at number 24. It's the New York Jets. Obviously, that defense has not been good this year. Hopefully, him and Tyrod are on the same page. We see that relationship click a little bit more. Mike Williams, keeping him right here, coming off a really good game. But again, as I talked about in the start-sit video, he's big play dependent right now, and because of that, I've got him at 25. Hunter Renfrow at number 26. Dallas's pass rush, they're getting really, really good. That defense has been a lot better as of recent with him getting the ball out quick from Derek Carr. Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow are going to be the guys to help with that. Chase Claypool at number 27. I think he sees Wouzier this week, and that's why I've got him lower. Kadarius Toney at number 28. He's the Sterling Shepard in that offense when there's no Sterling Shepard, and there'll be no Sterling Shepard again this week. So for Kadarius Toney, lots of volume. Just those big plays aren't as available as maybe some of these other wide receivers. Devontae Smith, I got him as a sit this week. I do not like the matchup, but again, all it takes is maybe 1 or 2 plays, kind of break away and really find a huge play. If that were to happen, he kind of falls into this area. His floor is a lot smaller for me, though. Jalen Waddle at number 30. Carolina is a very tough matchup. Elijah Moore at number 31. I'd like to go higher, especially against Houston, but we've got Zach Wilson this week. It's not Joe Flacco. It's not Tyler White. It's Zach Wilson. And Zach Wilson didn't do anything for Elijah Moore earlier in the year. So we'll see what happens with this matchup. I've got him right here. Temper expectations. Jerry Jeudy against the Chargers, one of the tougher matchups in the league. Really don't like this for him this week. Rashad Bateman going up against Cleveland. I like him as the wide receiver 2 there. Cortland Sutton against the Chargers. Judy's just the guy right now that has a little bit more opportunity of where he's playing in the slot. I like his ability there a little bit more. Then Cortland Sutton just matched up one-on-one on the outside. Corey Davis is really starting to become not the wide receiver 1 in that Jets offense. And again, with Zach Wilson back, what do we see? I almost put Corey Davis over Elijah Moore because we saw Zach Wilson really connect with Corey Davis to start the season. But will that still be there when he comes back? MVS at number 36 going up against the Los Angeles Rams. The big play upside is there. He probably won't see Jalen Ramsey either, which is good. Robbie Anderson at number 37. 5 catches on 6 targets last week. Volume is coming back. We just need some of those bigger yards to get moving. Marvin Jones Jr. at number 38. Listen, the Jacksonville wide receivers and pass catchers, they're flying off the shelf. The guys that are wanting to be used aren't there. They're not available anymore. We got to start giving the ball to Marvin Jones Jr. It's a sign, Urban. Let's go. Jacoby Myers at number 39 going up against Tennessee. I don't like the upside. But he should still see plenty of passing attempts. New England is rolling right now. Van Jefferson at number 40. I've got him and OBJ back-to-back. Who's going to be that guy? Now, here's the thing. Van Jefferson obviously has been a guy that Matthew Stafford has looked towards a few times this season. He's had some good games. But we got to get Odell Beckham Jr. working in this offense. If you watched the game last week, they even talked about how Sean McVay wants to do a little bit more hurry up. He wants to get the offense going, but because OBJ isn't familiar with all of it yet, you really can't do that. Well, what better way than trial by fire? Get him in, get him rolling. You brought him in for a reason. Utilize him if you're going to utilize him. If not, then just kick the guy to the curb again. Now, obviously, they're not going to do that because they lost Robert Woods, but he's going to be a big playmaker for them down the stretch, so they really need to get him integrated and get him moving. Is it going to happen this week? I'm not sure. That's why I got these guys lower, and I got them right next to each other. Jarvis Landry at number 42. Would like to see him get going a little bit more. I hope Baker Mayfield starts to utilize him more, especially in that short passing game. Quick, get the ball out, pick up some yards. They really need to start doing that a little bit more in this offense. Kendrick Bourne at number 43. I mean, he's the only guy on this New England team to fall within the top 23 times this season. Tennessee's a decent matchup. We'll see how much pass rush they get, but I expect Bill and company ready for Tennessee. Tyler Boyd against Pittsburgh. I mean, he got off to a good start last week, had to go get some fluids via IV, ended up going in and out of the game a couple of different times. Gabriel Davis at number 45, I got as a start this week. New Orleans, like I said earlier, gives up a lot of big plays. A lot of big plays. I expect Gabriel Davis to find a couple of them. Cole Beasley at number 46. Don't like Cole Beasley this week. If Dawson Knox is healthy, he gets the targets that Cole Beasley used to get. Jameson Crowder at number 47. Not going to get the type of volume that we used to see. But again, him and Zach Wilson kind of on the same page. Are they going to find that relationship again this week? Tim Patrick at number 48 going up against the Chargers. Don't love the matchup. Touchdown upside is a potential. Laviska Shenault at number 49. Volume will probably be there for him this week, but can he make anything out of it? And number 50, Cedric Wilson Jr. If Michael Gallup is out, if CeeDee Lamb is out, he'll stick here. If not, we pull Cedric Wilson out, and we probably put like a Traquan Smith here at number 50. All right, now we're on to wide receivers. And at number 1, no surprise here, Darren Waller with Travis Kelce being out, and Mark Andrews is going to sit at number 2 for me. George Kittle at number 3. I mean, these 3 guys, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. If Travis Kelce is out there, which he's not because he's on the bye, these 3 guys will always be towards the top. Dalton Schultz at number 4. Absolutely love the matchup. He is the one guy outside of the big 3 this week that I really think has an opportunity for a high ceiling. Kyle Pitts at number 5. The opportunities there. He's the number 1 target in this offense right now, but that might not be the best thing for him. Number 6, TJ Hawkinson. We got to get him rolling again. Going up against Chicago, it's the perfect opportunity. Dallas Goedert going up against the New York Giants at number 7. Continues to get a decent amount of targets. Hopefully they keep rolling with it. Dawson Knox going up against New Orleans. New Orleans has been surprisingly tough on tight ends this season. Because of that, I've got Dawson Knox a little bit lower, but we know Dawson Knox is a guy that has the trust of Josh Allen. Pat Freiermuth, no more Eric Ebron, at least for a while anyway. This is a matchup against Cincinnati where he should absolutely smash. Mike Gesicki's got a tough matchup going up against Carolina, so I've got him a lot lower. Rob Gronkowski looked really good last week. Hopefully we continue to see that going up against Indianapolis. Noah Fant, I've got as a start, even though I don't like him the rest of the season. I got him as a start this week because LAC gives up the second most fantasy points per game to opposing tight ends, and they're really tough on the outside to wide receivers, so I think we're looking at Noah Fant and Albert Are You Okay this week. Hunter Henry at number 13, a little bit more touchdown dependent than the other guys. That's why I've got him a little bit lower. Dan Arnold going up against Atlanta. Got to get him rolling again. Again, with no Jamal Agnew, those targets, those touches, those game plan, those schemes that they were trying to use for him, they're going to have to find a way to distribute that out. Evan Ingram at number 15 going up against Philly, the team that allows the most fantasy points to tight ends. I expect some touchdown upside from Evan Ingram this week, even if there isn't a whole lot of volume to go with it. Logan Thomas, as of right now, has not been cleared to play. He is practicing. It's a Monday night game, so it gives him an extra day. Hopefully that helps, and hopefully we see him back on the field this week. Austin Hooper at number 17, not a ton of upside, but they are looking his way a little bit more right now. Albert Are You Okay? Mentioned it with Noah Fant. Really good matchup for him. Jonnu Smith at number 19. A little bit of a revenge game against his former team, Tennessee. Is he going to be able to pull out a touchdown this week? Don't expect a ton of volume. He'd have to make his week with a touchdown. And Anthony Firkser at number 20. No Jeff Swaim. Tough matchup on the outside for A.J. Brown. Is Anthony Firkser going to get himself a few more targets this week? Woo, baby. Running through the top 50 wide receivers and the top 20 tight ends. Hopefully y'all are getting your lineups ready and set this week. Who are you going to be putting in your lineup this week? Is your main guy going to be the turkey? Is it going to be dark meat or white meat? Is ham coming in off the bench? Do you need to use ham as a replacement? What is your favorite Thanksgiving Day feast? Let me know down in the comments below. We're going to be celebrating with you all week long. Hopefully you have a great Thanksgiving Day. Make sure that you check out the rankings for Jake as well later on when they come out, so you get all the updates from the Start Sit videos. Don't forget that we're going to have a couple of other videos that aren't going to be dropping this week, so keep an eye on the community tab and Twitter for all of those injury updates. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. Everybody stay safe and healthy, and I will catch you on the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.